All right, guys, we have the 7th year EZAs, not quite the gods and the SSJ4s, but the Part 2 Saiyan Saga units in STR Kaioken Goku and also LR Great Ape Vegeta. Yes, I did accidentally say LO, you know I meant LR, but we're just going to carry on rocking. So starting with Kaioken Goku, we're wasting no time at all. Once you activate the entrance animation when there is an enemy whose name includes Vegeta at the start of the character's attack in turn, Goku will gain Ki +3, attack +100%. Now, I'm not gonna lie, unless Supreme Magnificent Battle Gathering of Super Warriors ends up chucking in Goku and Vegeta enemies that are difficult to the point where it's meaningful, players are hopping back into testing units, you know, it hits very hard, then I'm not gonna lie, at the moment you're not really going to be triggering either one of their entrance animation buffs, and you're not going to be getting Goku's and also Vegeta's. Once we get to his details, you're not going to be getting them. You're not going to be getting Goku's Ki +3, attack +100%. How many Vegeta enemies are actually in the game? And that's quite a lot of attack to miss out on. Does start the turn with attack and defense +200%, 70% chance to crit. Randomly changes Ki spheres of a certain type to strength Ki spheres. Receives an additional Ki +2 per strength Ki sphere. Then for 7 turns from the character's entry, Ki +10 and defense +100%. When attacking with 12 or more Ki, attack and defense +159, which this is pretty much guaranteed. Then when attacking with 18 or more Ki, another 159% attack. I mean, with those 7 turns getting Ki +10, getting up to 18 Ki, and considering it's an 18 Ki super you always want to go for, shoot for, again, kind of pretty much guaranteed. Then for every strength Ki sphere obtained, Goku gets damage reduction of 4% damage reduction. Now, if you can get yourselves a ton of strength orbs, I'm talking like 10 minimum, cool, great, that's 40% damage reduction. But let's be real, how often are you consistently getting 10 or more orbs of a specific type in one turn, unless there's a bunch of orb changing? Don't get me wrong, I know he is a strength orb changer, but maybe if he was a rainbow orb changer as well, you know, we've seen it with Cell, Buhan, etc., you get a lot of orbs majority of the time. But I can't lie, unless Goku had base damage reduction to start with, like 30, 40, and then got 4% per strength Ki sphere, that would have been good. But just damage reduction purely from picking up strength Ki spheres, if you get a bad field of orbs when it comes to the orb changing, and you only get 6, that's 24% damage reduction. Just 24% damage reduction by itself isn't going to do much. So I can't lie, this by itself, I don't know what they were doing with this, but if Goku had like base damage reduction to begin with, to go with that on top, cool, that would have been sick. This by itself, I don't know what you think that was doing, Dokkan, I can't lie to you. Then when activating the active skill when attacking with 24 Ki, performs a guaranteed crit. On 12 Ki, greatly raises attack and defense by 50% for 1 turn. On 18 Ki, massively raises attack and defense by 100% for 4 turns. And of course, does sacrifice 4% HP. Now that's nice. Defensively, stat-wise, I'm guessing he could probably get to a pretty decent length. However, again, I'm not sure the direction Dokkan's going to stick to going when it comes to damage output, or maybe this is like a 10th anniversary one-off. But we've seen Golden Frieza do 6 to 7 million on a super. 4% damage reduction with the amount of defense Goku's going to have, which is probably going to be quite a bit, don't get me wrong, unfortunately isn't going to be enough. I'm not going to lie, I would have accepted, as I said, the damage reduction by strength Ki spheres with damage reduction in his passive on top of that. Cool. That would have worked out good, because then you could have like 60, 70% in total, 80% if you got lucky. I could work with that. That's sick. But I can't help feeling that what they've done with Kaioken Goku just isn't enough. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of disappointed with this one. Apologies for being negative. I mean, you can let me know down in the comments what you think of Kaioken Goku. Maybe I'm being a bit too hard. Maybe I'm wrong, but I kind of feel like he isn't that great. Then we have my boy GETES, LR Great Ape Vegeta. Please, Dokkan, do him nice. If Kaioken Goku's going to be meaty, nice him. I mean, I want you to do him well anyway, but especially because, don't forget, Vegeta's going to be on Super Saiyan 4 Goku's 220% lead, and he'll also get that giant ape power support. So I'm hoping for good stuff. Again, entrance animation when there is an enemy whose name includes Goku. This will happen more often than not in Supreme Magnificent Battle because Goku's the main character. Get the key +3 and attack +100%. So it's a bit more likely than Kaioken Goku's entrance animation. But again, right now, unless Supreme Magnificent Battle Gathering of Super Warriors really picks up in terms of difficulty, has a ton of Vegeta and Goku enemies, which we've seen the format in which they do it. It goes through an entire saga. There'll be like 1 or 2 Goku and Vegeta enemies, and that's about it. Then it won't be too often where you're receiving this buff. I mean, you can get it against Goku and Frieza, which is good, which is why I think it's better than Goku's, but it's not going to be happening all too often. At the start of turn, key +3, attack and defense +200%, damage reduction rate of 20%. See, this is what Kaioken Goku needed. A base damage reduction or guard just in the passive to go with the damage reduction with the key. It just made more sense. Receives an additional key +1 per key through obtained. It also has guard as well. Yeah, GETES, I can't lie, GETES is already better. Like, don't get me wrong, Kaioken Goku is going to do a ton of damage. Especially with that 100% attack and defense raise on Super. He's going to do a ton of damage. But GETES has that security with him with damage reduction, guard. Probably is going to do solid damage, but you're going to get more out of Vegeta. Goku's going to do good damage, but he's probably going to be a typical glass cannon and get you killed. Which is fine, but, you know, you kind of need to be able to survive to a certain extent. I mean, we'll see when he drops. Then when attacking with 12 or more key, 160 on attack and defense. When attacking with 18 or more key, 160 on defense. Yeah, Vegeta has that security net around him. He's the defensive version, which, to be fair, with the amount of damage enemies are doing, probably the better way to go. After guard is activated, key +3, 60% attack and defense for 3 turns, which, funny enough, guard is always going to be active, so you're always guaranteed to get this. Again, you're always guaranteed to get these because you're always shooting for 18 key supers. Then if you put them in slot 1, 60% defense, 40% damage reduction rate. Dokkan, why didn't you give Goku some of this damage reduction? He needs it. I know one's meant to be more defensive, one's meant to be more offensive, but Goku is literally a glass cannon. Loads of damage, flick him, he dies. Maybe not that harsh, but you know what I mean. But that's 20% damage reduction, 40% damage reduction in slot 1. That's 60% damage reduction and guard with 200% attack and defense, an extra 160 attack and defense, another 160 defense, and then 60% attack and defense for 3 turns because guard is always active, so that's guaranteed. And then as long as you're in slot 1, even more defense. GETES is looking good. I'm not gonna lie, we actually needed some slot 1 units as well. GETES is looking good. Considering how doo-doo he was when he released, I'm glad they're kind of giving redemption to GETES. They did it with SSBE a few years ago with year 6 EZAs. I'm here for it again. Then if he's in slot 2 or slot 3, 60% attack, launches an additional attack. There's a 70% chance of becoming a super attack. Then when attacking with 24 key, attacks are effective against all types. Cool, good stuff. On 12 key, greatly raises attack and then raises defense by 30% for 1 turn. Cool. 150, 130. And then on 18 key, will greatly raise defense by 50% for 1 turn as well. I can't lie, GETES is looking very, very solid. And this is before he transforms. You know, I'm not a big fan of giant apes. Super Saiyan 4 Goku kind of maybe changed my mind. GETES is starting with key +6, attack +318%, guaranteed crit. Look, as long as he's doing like Super Saiyan 4 Goku near that kind of damage, like 10 to 15 million on a super with this guaranteed crit, I don't mind. Because that's just genuine good free damage. He'll greatly raise attack temporarily, cause destructive damage, and then if you get the full key, you'll get massive raised attack temporarily. So yeah, that is pretty much a free turn of very good damage, especially with the guaranteed crit as well. But overall, GETES looks good. GETES looks very good, and again, don't forget, that is going to be another unit added to Super Saiyan 4 Goku's 220 lead, and that is another unit that is going to benefit from Super Saiyan 4 Goku's support. And we also finally have a very good slot 1 unit that can go on teams like that as well. So I mean, all in all, I can't lie, I'm quite disappointed with Goku. He's your typical glass cannon. Don't get me wrong, damage wise, he's going to be amazing. I feel like they could have gave him more defensively. As I said, base damage reduction to go with the damage reduction he gets from strength orbs, I think would have been enough. But he's your typical glass cannon, hits really hard, he's going to get you killed. I see a lot of people going full dodge on him. GETES looks very nice, and again, to benefit from Super Saiyan 4 Goku's 220 lead and support and a slot 1 unit, big fan. Very happy with that. Can't wait to try him out. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, especially on STR Kaioken Goku. I want to know your thoughts. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a great day, and post.